can't be president without understanding how the media works.
There you go again.
Presidents have a love-hate relationship with journalists and vice versa.
Today, we've had a national tragedy. 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center.
Whatever the media does, it allows presidents to amplify or communicate their personalities.
Ask not what your country can do for you.
Read my lips.
All presidents gripe about the media.
Don't get the impression that you arouse my anger.
Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?
From fireside chats to Twitter, U.S. presidents have employed the latest media technology to deliver their message. Yet, there has always been an adversarial relationship between the media and the commander-in-chief. Vanderbilt professor Dr. Vanessa Beasley has studied the history of presidential rhetoric with a particular focus on the interaction of the president and mass media. She says the media is our only means of accountability.
The founders felt so strongly about that they baked it into the Constitution, even though their media system was very, very different from the one we currently live in. And frankly, the one that we've lived in all the 20th century would have been hard for them to imagine. But that tension that presidents know that they probably don't trust the media, but they have to use the media. And we as citizens know that we have to have the media or else there's no watchdog function out there.
Presidents need the media to get their message out, but their goal involves trying to bypass the press to reach out directly to the people. This allows presidents to control their message. In the country's early years, most presidents, when they talked to voters, it was outdoors in front of a large crowd. Woodrow Wilson brought the media into the White House, but Franklin Roosevelt changed that with his fireside chats on radio.
We're losing no time in getting the government's vast work relief program underway.
FDR was the first modern media president. This according to a specialist in government studies, Tennessee State University professor Dr. Brian Russell.
The fireside chats, the use of the radio, made it so that FDR got into people's living rooms. He was talking to Americans one-on-one and communicating them. That was a tool that allowed FDR to go directly into the homes of people.
My most immediate concern is in carrying out the purposes of the great work program just enacted by the Congress.
FDR's fireside chats allowed citizens to have a more personal relationship with the president, says Belmont professor of American government, Dr. Nathan Griffin.
Which people didn't necessarily expect. And Roosevelt sort of changed that, sort of created more trust in the presidency. Of course, part of that was because he wanted the president to be stronger, and he wanted to use more powers and had Congress willing to hand them over to him. So he also had a greater need to reach people, but he had greater ability through radio.
Later in FDR's presidency, after World War II broke out, more than 50 million people were listening to him on the radio. That changed the perception of Americans and their government, and as Russell notes, put the president at the center of our political system.
And when you read the Constitution, the first article is about Congress. Congress is designed to be the supreme branch of government. But in the 20th century, with the advent of the modern media, presidents start taking the center stage. And I think that the fireside chats is going to be a first step that's really changing our government, our presidency, our country, and the people's interactions with the executive branch.